In this video, we're going to talk about writing a 3-picture narrative, and I have a pre-writing sheet for you to fill out. The first thing you're going to look at is your central fact. I'll give you 3 pictures. You can put the pictures in any order you want to, but you'll list your central fact, and a central fact is something that is a fact about the picture. So here's your pictures, and you can decide which one comes first. And once you decide which one you want to go first, you list your fact, like there were 4 horses on a hillside. That's a fact. And so you would list the central fact about the pictures you chose and in the order you're going to talk about them. Then after you have the central fact and your pictures in the order you want to use, you answer all of these questions about each picture. So this would be your answers to picture 1, picture 2, picture 3. And then we're going to go back to picture 1, and you're going to decide on what your obstacle is going to be. So you have all this, you have your who and why and all of this, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and then you're going to decide what their obstacle is, what they have to overcome, and what their objective is. So you have your obstacle and your objective. Your objective is the goal. The obstacle is what's preventing them from reaching the goal. So let's say if we were looking at our first picture, his goal is to learn, or let's say take first place in a shooting contest. And his obstacle would be maybe that he has a disease that causes his hands to shake, and so he's got to overcome that, or something to that effect. And then your outcome. You can't really answer it, but the outcome, you can't answer it for picture 1 and picture 2 in the same way you're going to answer it in picture 3, but your outcome is, let's say he has something that's causing him to have shaky hands from an accident. And he used to be the top shooter in his age group, and he had a car accident that has kind of left him with this shaky hand, some paralysis or something, so he needs to overcome that. His outcome would be maybe that he has become determined to do some exercises to regain strength in his hands. Okay, so he has an obstacle. His obstacle is shaking hands, and his outcome would be to do some exercises. So the outcome is how he's going to try to overcome the obstacle. It doesn't mean he completely overcomes it in that chapter, but that's where he's headed with it. And you're going to pick the second picture and have an objective. So here his objective would be to strengthen his hands. His obstacle would be that his hands are shaking from after effects of an accident, and his outcome would be that he has found some strengthening exercises. So you're going to have to think these through before you even start writing. And then your ending. If you think about your favorite book or your favorite movie, the endings of the chapters are extremely important because you want the reader to want to read the next chapter. So you want to leave things undone in each chapter except the last one. And in your ending, you're going to pick from one of these 5 things to end picture 1 and picture 2 with. So you're going to end with a major decision, just as a terrible thing is about to happen. A suggestion of a terrible thing is going to happen. Includes a display of strong emotion, or raise a question with no immediate answer. So you decide how you're going to end. In that picture 1, where the boy used to be the top shooter, he's had a car wreck, and his hands are shaky. He's decided to do the exercises, and let's say the terrible thing that is about to happen is he is in a contest and he's going against the top shooter in the state. And as he's lining up to take his turn to shoot the skeets or whatever, he feels his hand trembling. So we don't say what happened. We just leave it there. A terrible thing is about to happen. And then we're going to bring that in to our next chapter. So these are the things, these are the pre-writing activities an author might go through in order to write a story. We're just working on 3 chapters. And let me show you. This is what a story would look like if you were going to do a diagram of it. Let me see if I can get my pen to work. I cannot, but here is your picture 1 right here. Picture 1. That is where you're going to have your first conflict. And then you're going to have your picture 2. And ideally, you're going to create an additional conflict. You're not going to have this conflict and outcome and he overcomes it. So here he has shaky hands and he's going up against the next shooter, the best shooter in the state. And so every time he goes up to shoot, he feels this tremor in his hands. Then, let's say, so he has this tremor he's having to deal with and he's doing these exercises. And then our next obstacle might be that he confides in somebody who reveals this weakness. So he has this weakness and then he has a betrayal of somebody. And that would be our second picture. Our third picture, this is going to be your turning point. And in a book, we usually have a lot of conflicts leading up to the turning point, but we're just doing 3 chapters, so it's going to have to be short and sweet. And your turning point is when something happens that is going to bring a resolution to it. So let's say his hands have been shaking, he's been betrayed, somebody reveals this, and they're thinking of disqualifying him because they don't think he's fit to participate in the activity, and there was a physical and they feel like he did not pass the physical. And the turning point might come when the doctor writes a note and says he is perfectly fine to participate in the activity, and this will actually strengthen him and do not give him an advantage or anything like that. And then our resolution is what happens, and our resolution is basically the outcome. And remember, when we talked before, when we like books or like movies, it's because we like the ending. The character achieved their story goal. So if his story goal was to win the competition, his resolution would be that he won it or came in second, or he finished the competition. Maybe he wasn't fit, but he finished, and that is a good ending. And we also we have our characters, so you're going to decide on your character. And we like it when our character learns something and becomes wiser or better at the end. So that's another thing that you got to work into this narrative. So there's a lot of things you're weaving into this story. You only have 3 chapters to do this in, and each chapter will probably be about 300 words. And go ahead and you're going to do a draft first and then send it to me. But the first week you're going to do your pre-writing exercises. Then you're going to write your draft and give it to me. And then I'm going to make suggestions, and then you'll do your final. So we'll be working on this for about a month. Okay, so that is what you'll have. I'll send you the 3 pictures. I will send you here's our pictures. So you have 3 central facts you can use. And down at the bottom here, it shows our rising conflict. Character is better off and has learned a lesson. And you'll have this pre-writing exercise. This is all that's due for this week. And that is the end of the video.